What's happening around the world? It's time for another serving of News Bites.
最近国内外发生哪些大事？午餐搭配 ICT News Bites， 慢慢的一口接一口吸收最新时事和趣闻。
Ready to chow down? 准备好大吃一顿了吗？ You're listening to another episode of News Bites. I'm Paz Bueno.
And I am Trevor Tortomasi.
In today's news,
Taiwanese students overcome odds to win.
Fewer turkeys for Christmas.
And China's new space crew.
Stay tuned and we'll tell you more about these stories coming up next.
Top of Taiwan.
清华大学勇夺世界超级电脑竞赛总冠军。NTHU students win computer competition.
For our first story, we're talking about high-performance computing, 高效能运算, or HPC.
HPC is the ability to process data and perform complicated calculations at high speeds. HPC 是高速处理数据和复杂计算。It sounds pretty difficult, 困难, doesn't it?
Well, a team of students from National Tsinghua University, 国立清华大学, finished first place in an HPC competition. Last month, NTHU computer science professor Jerry Zhou led a team of 6 students to join the Student Cluster Competition, SCC 世界超级电脑竞赛.
They faced 6 teams from the US and 1 team each from Germany, Singapore, and Switzerland. 他们面对来自美国6个团队，以及来自德国、新加坡和瑞士的各一队。The teams had 8 hours to create an HPC system using no more than 3,000 watts of power. 团队有8个小时的时间来创建一个高效能运算系统，使用的功率不超过3000瓦。
Then they had 48 hours to use the system to solve 4 application questions. 解决4个应用问题. That's a total of 56 hours.
If that wasn't hard enough, the Taiwan team faced the competition with additional challenges. 如果这还不够难，台湾队还面对更多挑战。
Their team leader was injured in a traffic accident, 交通事故受伤, and he almost couldn't join the competition. On top of that, some of their equipment got damaged on the way. 设备在途中损坏.
The team was forced to adjust their plans. 这个团队被迫重新调整计划。
But these things didn't stop them from doing their best. They overcame challenges, 克服挑战, with great teamwork.
Going global.
The good news is that Taiwan is showing its talents in HPC.
The bad news is that people may not have enough turkeys for Christmas.
禽流感影响英国火鸡供应。Bird flu affects UK turkey supplies.
In the last 2 years, the whole world was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Countries are reporting confirmed cases, 确诊病例, even today.
But did you know there's another virus sweeping the world? 另一种席卷全球的病毒? We're talking about bird flu or the avian influenza, 禽流感.
Millions of birds have been culled, 捕杀, around the world to prevent the spread of bird flu, 预防传播. In the UK, the bird flu has heavily affected supplies of free-range turkeys, 放山火鸡. That's because free-range turkeys live out in the open, 生活在户外.
Half of the free-range turkeys produced for Christmas have been culled or have died from bird flu. So the UK government has ordered all poultry and captive birds in England to be kept indoors. 英国政府下令将所有家兽和饲养的鸟类关在室内。
But it's more expensive, 昂贵, to keep turkeys indoors, especially when they're already used to living outdoors. And many people are worried there might not be enough turkeys for the holiday season. We hope there will be enough turkey for every family to enjoy.
Today's feature.
Now let's zoom out, 把镜头拉远, and talk about a place much farther than the UK.
We're talking about space.
中国把另一组太空人送上天宫太空站。China sends new crew to Tiangong Space Station.
There are 2 permanently inhabited space outposts orbiting Earth. 现在太空中有2个太空站环绕地球运行。One is NASA's International Space Station.
And the other is China Manned Space Agency, or CMSA's Tiangong Space Station.
The Tiangong Space Station was launched 发射升空 in April 2021. Its mission is to help researchers conduct science experiments in space. 在太空中进行科学实验。
So far, there have been 3 crewed missions, 载人任务, aboard the station. And last month, another crew of 3 Chinese taikonauts, 太空人, took off to board Tiangong.
They traveled aboard the Shenzhou 15 spacecraft. 神舟15号太空船. They have 3 main goals in their mission.
Perform the first in-orbit crew handover, test the station's capabilities, and install equipment to complete the station's construction. 完成首次在太空中交接，测试太空站的能力，并且完成太空站所有建设。
The first mission is already completed. It marks the beginning of a regular crew rotation, 太空人定期轮换, in the Tiangong Space Station.
The new crew is staying on the station for 6 months. In the next 10 years, China plans to launch 2 crewed missions every year.
The recap.
So, in today's News Bites, a team of students from National Tsinghua University finished first place in an HPC competition. They faced 6 teams from the US and 1 team each from Germany, Singapore, and Switzerland. They faced many challenges at the student cluster competition, but they overcame them with great teamwork.
In the UK, the bird flu has heavily affected supplies of free-range turkeys. So the UK government has ordered all poultry and captive birds in England to be kept indoors. But some people worry there won't be enough turkeys for Christmas.
And the CMSA has sent a crew of 3 taikonauts to live on the Tiangong Space Station. They traveled aboard the Shenzhou 15 spacecraft. In the next 10 years, China plans to launch 2 crewed missions every year.
And that's all for today's episode of News Bites. This week, we asked you to tell us what your favorite word is. 8-year-old Isabel from Yongfu Elementary School in Tainan City shares what her favorite word is and the reason why.
My favorite word is love, because love will let people feel good. Some people don't know how to say I love you in words. They can use body language or a hug to show their love. Like me, I hug my mother and father every day to show I love them. Love can make the world getting better. Thank you.
And that's all for this week's Have Your Say. Remember, if your answer was used in the show this month, we'll be sending you a gift in the mail. Make sure to tune in again next week for an all-new question.
ICRT 与教育部国民及学前教育署下次继续和您聊新闻。ICRT App 和网站也能重复收听。
More local and international news next time on News Bites. Brought to you by the K-12 Education Administration. Find past episodes available on the ICRT website and app.